Hello, hello, hello. It is Samantha here of Samantha Sutherland Art and Books. Now, if I sound a little bit funny, it's because I'm still getting over the cold I came down with over the weekend, and it hit hard. It was quite a nasty one. I just sound a bit nasally, so it's almost gone. Welcome, poetry fans. That's a clue of today's video. You'll probably see from the thumbnail. I have decided to restart Poetry Thursdays. The reason I stopped doing Poetry Thursdays is because with everything else, it was taking up quite a bit of my time and energy that I didn't always have. I was doing deep dives into the poets, which I did enjoy doing because it meant I learned something about the poets I was reading the poetry of. But it was kind of what was doing other things in the videos and life. It was getting a little bit too much. So I ended up stopping, which I didn't really want to do, but I kind of had to take a break for a little bit. And then I was thinking, for 2026, it would be nice to reinstate and start doing it again. So that's why today, January the 22nd, I have decided that today I'm going to restart Poetry Thursday and do it for as long as I possibly can. And I thought I might try and get through all of the poetry books that I own, whether it's going through it once or maybe twice. I own quite a few. As you can see here, it's these books here. Some of them, there are some more downstairs in the boxes that I own, and I absolutely adore poetry. Poetry for me is a comfort. When I'm feeling really, really unwell or in like huge amount of pain, and I can't sit and concentrate on a novel, such as like I've been trying to read Clara and the Sun. I have not been able to manage to do it because a few reasons. The book's a little bit too heavy because I've got osteoarthritis in my fingers. I found it hard to hold a book that heavy, or I just haven't been able to concentrate. And with everything that's been going on with my dad being unwell, I found that I had gravitated back towards reading poetry because I actually even took a break from reading poetry. I don't know why. And so I thought, no, this is the perfect time to get back into poetry. Now, I have actually been reading a lot of poetry over the last few weeks. So it's my favourite mug, which I think is kind of fitting. I thought that I would start reading poetry again on a Thursday. So I'm not going to be doing deep dives into each poet. I will put a link to information about them. And I'm just going to start to just read the poems, and if you want to read up on the poet, I will put the information in the box below. Also, please excuse me if I mumble over words or stop because I can't work out what it says, because I am dyslexic. So for me, reading, it's a bit of I never liked doing it in school. I didn't know until I was in college that I'm dyslexic. So reading out aloud for me, it was all right to do at home, but in front of people at school, it was always really hard. And obviously I'm going to be reading to, I don't know, a couple of people or a couple of hundred people or whoever sees this video. I just wanted to warn you that if I start kind of going wrong over words or whatever, it's not because I'm being a bit slow or anything. It's literally, I'm dyslexic. So, but I have pre-read these poems first, and I may not have exactly practiced them, but I have had a quick read through. Also, a bit of a, however, Simon Armitage, who is our current poet laureate. I got this book like 2 weeks ago, so I've not actually read through it exactly. I just kind of skipped through the book looking at some of the titles, and a few I came across and I thought, oh, I'm going to read that poem. So I read the poem and I was like, oh, I really liked that. So I've picked 3 of the ones that I kind of skipped past and kind of had a quick read of. So without further ado, I'm going to read At Sea by Simon Armitage. It is not through weeping, but all evening the pale blue eye on your most photogenic side has kept its own unfathomable tide. Like the boy at the dike, I have been there, held out a huge finger, lifted atoms of dust with the point of a tissue, and imagined slivers of hair in the oil on the cornea. We are both in the dark, but I go on drawing the eyelid up by its lashes, folding it almost inside out, then finding and hiding every mirror in the house as the iris, besieged with the ink of blood, rolls back into its own orbit. Nothing will help it. Through until dawn, you dream the true story of the boy who hooked out his eye and ate it. So by 6 in the morning, I am studying the ointment that will bite like an onion, piping a line of cream while avoiding the pupil, and in no time it is glued shut like a bad muscle. Another of his poems I'd like to read, funny enough, is called Poem. And if it snowed and snow covered the drive, he took a spade and tossed it to one side, and always tucked his daughter up at night, and slippered her the one time that she lied. And every week he tipped up half his wage, and what he didn't spend each week he saved, and praised his wife for every meal she made, and once, for laughing, punched her in the face. And for his mum he hired a private nurse, and every Sunday taxied her to church, and he blubbed when she went from bad to worse. And twice he lifted 10 quid from her purse. Here's how they rated him when they looked back. Sometimes he did this, sometimes he did that. And the last poem I'd like to read is Map Reference. Not that it was the first peak in the range, or the furthest. It didn't have the swankiest name, and wasn't the highest even, or the finest. In fact, if those in the know ever had their say about sea level or cross sections, or had their way with angles and vectors, or went there with their instruments about them, it might have been more of a hill than a mountain. As for its features, walls fell into stones along the lower reaches. Fields ran up against its slopes. Scree had loosened from around its shoulders. Incidentally, pine trees pitched about its south and west approaches. We could have guessed, I think, had we taken to it, the view straightforward from its summit. So, as we rounded on it from the road that day, how very smart of me to say or not to say what we both knew, that it stood where it stood so absolutely for you. So there are 3 poems that caught my eye from Simon Armitage's book Selected Poems, published by Faber Books. I got this one from, it may have been Waterstones. I ordered a couple of books, and I think I need to start keeping a list of where I get my books from. But yes, there are 3 very different poems from our very current poet laureate, Simon Armitage. So if you enjoyed that, I will be back next week with another poet. I don't know who it's going to be. I haven't a clue. There will probably not be a theme at all. It may be a poem I've already read on the channel, or one that I've come across that's new. I am at the moment reading Wood, etc. by Alice Oswald, who is one of my favourite poets. So yes, I will see you later, and I will be back at some point, not quite sure when, for a full proper video. I will be doing a wrap up because I finished another book, and I'm currently reading, or through Audible, another one for part of my Ramble Broadcasting Recommends Books I've Not Read challenge. So until then, I will say goodbye for now. And again, happy Poetry Thursday. If you want to find me, you can find me on Instagram or Goodreads. And on that note, good reading to you. Stay warm, stay cozy, happy reading, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.